Why do we suffer? That's probably a question that you've not just started asking yourself, but maybe you've asked that many times throughout your life. A question that I find that many good and pious Christians are unwilling to ask of God and his church because they're afraid sometimes that there won't be a sufficient answer. Well, let me tell you that as we approach Holy Week, as we come to the redemptive cross of Jesus Christ and his sufferings, it's a question that I'm not afraid to ask with you. It's a question that I'm not afraid to help you to find the answer. The problem of suffering. It fits into the problem of evil, which is a question that is as old as time. In fact, I would say that it started with the conundrum of creation. And what is that conundrum? Here's something that might surprise you. There's something that God can't do. Yeah, there's something that God can't do. God can't contradict himself. What do I mean by that? We know that God exists, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, in all of eternity. And they exist in an eternal exchange of love with one another, freely given. And the nature of that love is that they desire to share that with his own creation, you and I. And you and I, as his own creation, have a special ingredient in our being, in who we are. And he shared with us the gift of free will. This is how we're made in the image and likeness of God, that we have free will and we can reciprocate love with God, with one another. And so we have to reciprocate that love in order to be fully human. But here's the conundrum. Here's the thing that God could not do in contradicting himself. God could not create us with free will and at the very same time contradict that by saying you aren't able to choose evil. That's something that God couldn't do. He didn't want robots. Some people ask the question, why didn't God create a world in which we existed here but were unable to choose evil? Well, we wouldn't be able to freely love then. We wouldn't be able to choose against him or to choose for him, to choose him back. And so we have this gift of free will. But God can't guarantee that we won't use it to choose against him, to choose against one another, to choose against ourselves. We would say this, that the world in which love exists, even with suffering and evil alongside of it, is better than a world in which there is no suffering, but there is no exchange of love. So as we tackle this problem of evil, this problem of suffering, we have to keep our eyes on what's important, not despairing of the evil that is before us, or that we experience, or the suffering that we are experiencing, but keeping our eyes fixed, not on the scandal of evil, but in awe of God's love. Well, how are we going to get out of this chaos? How do we get out of this mess that we're in? Well, Jesus will show us. It's the ability to continue to persevere in choosing love, even in the midst of evil. God shows us the way. You and I, to be fully human, must continue to choose love.